Post-game live, Tom Giles, Eddie House, Scal. Celtics falling 116 to 115 in overtime. Had a final possession there. Did not get the shot off as Marcus Smart. That shot was well after the buzzer. But let's go through those final two plays, right? First on the defensive end, when you saw James Harden give Philadelphia the lead, and then what the Celtics did offensively.
Well, the rule number one is you don't leave corner three, especially if they're a knockdown shooter. We know how capable James Harden is, not only just being a great basketball player, right? So that's probably the last guy you want to leave. Yeah, maybe if you would left P.J. Tucker, I could understand that possibly, but
not up two.
Not up two. No, you don't. You're up two, and only thing can happen. It could go into overtime, and then I'll let you talk about that last play offensively.
Yeah. So in the NBA, first of all, you had two timeouts, and I get it why you don't want to use them. You don't want them to sub in, like their defensive unit. You want James Harden out there. You want those guys out there. So I'm okay with not calling the timeout. What I'm not okay with is you want to extend the game. If you're down by one, let's say you go, let's just play this out, right? We got zero chances at scoring with Marcus Smart shooting the ball at the end. But if you want to call that one opportunity, that's fine. You can do that. But if you go early, attack, you hold the corners, you go, and you miss. Now all of a sudden you foul. Even if they make two, at that point, you would still have an opportunity to call timeout, advance the ball, and go and, try to make a play. So by doing it that way, and I get it, like Marcus Smart almost made the shot or got it off on time, you give yourself one opportunity. You're basically saying, we're going to live with this chance and without, every time the Celtics have a 2-for-1 opportunity, they take it. Well, this is a great opportunity to get two opportunities to win. And you can't be afraid of what Philly might come down and score. That's not the way you do it. You're down one, you go early. If not, if Joe Mazzulla didn't like what he saw, then he should have burned a timeout and said, guys, when we're down one, we need to go early. And I think I'm fine with it, but every other coach would have said, we need to regroup. We have two timeouts left. We advance the ball, we go quick. Run a play. If it doesn't work, you still get another chance. I'll take two chances over one any day of the week.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And I also think this, though, if we go a little earlier, Marcus Smart gets that shot off.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's really about we just let precious seconds tick away for no reason. We just stood like we had the lead waiting for them to foul. You have to go, and like you said, you want to maximize your opportunities. You want to stretch the game out as much as possible, and you want to give yourself an opportunity to score. You have a chance to score. You have a chance to miss the shot, get offensive rebound, and get a putback like Pete. It's so many variables that can happen. But when you just give yourself the one shot, it's do or die at that particular moment. And it's okay if you're going to do the one shot, but get it off. You know what I'm saying? If we go,
I don't think it's okay.
No,
down by one, you need to get two looks.
I'm with you, but I'm saying if you are going to say, hey, we're on the road, we're going for the day, we're going to kick, we liked our momentum, we're going for one shot, we're going to put it in the hand of our best player. Okay, we'll get the shot off. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to do that, you must get an FGA.
Yeah. And do we have that play all queued up?
We do. We actually.
Just watch. You got to have a sense of urgency when that ball comes in. So we can watch the play. Make sure you run it all the way back to when the ball goes inbounds. Okay.
Well, here we go. So, again, the Celtics down by one here. Go ahead, Scott.
And we don't got
that doesn't explain. I don't got a clock. I don't have I can't do my job. Sorry. I got it. To do my job of what I'm talking about, I need to see when the ball is put in bounds.
When they inbounded the ball.
And you got it the
three.
Point is you rush the ball up the floor. And you don't walk the ball up the floor. You don't play one possession when you're down by one. This happened earlier. I think it was against Miami earlier this season. This happened. And I think we had a few guys out. And I said, well, in that situation, call timeout because you have some guys that haven't been there before. These guys have been there before, but you don't play. When you're down one, you don't play it like that in the NBA. I'm sorry. There are certain rules that you do. You don't go for a 2-for-1 when there's 26 on the clock. That's not a 2-for-1. When you're at the end of a game, when you're down by one, you want to get two possessions. So, I know that no one will admit it, but that's not how the NBA is played. You call timeout or you go quick. One way or another, you want two chances to win that game. And we didn't have that.
And he had 2 timeouts as well. So you could call a timeout, advance the ball, or go quick and have opportunity. And then if whatever Philly was going to do, you could call another timeout. If you get the rebound, call a timeout, advance it again.
Yeah.
So you had opportunities in that regard. But again, you can't allow the time to just elapse the way it did without you don't give yourself a shot. That's the whole thing. Is like, I understand exactly where you're coming from, because that's probably how I would have played it as well. We're going to call the timeout. We're going to play the long game. We're going to make sure that we get opportunities. But if we're going to play that game, right? Like, say you put it in the hand. Here we go right here.
All right.
It's 16 seconds.
Yeah, and look at the sense of urgency. We're down 1, 9. I don't get it. Maybe they know something I don't know.
And you need to be going at 7 if you're going to do anything like that. But
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, it just took too long to go. It took too long to develop. Number one, and I think
No, you should never have been there.
Yeah.
Like when you have 16 seconds, call timeout, advance the ball. Try to get a 2. You're up. I mean, you know how, by the way, when you're down by 1, it's a way different possession than when you're down by 3. Like when you're down 3, it's tough. When you're down 1, man, you could drive, kick, you could do a lot of stuff. Like you have a lot of offensive weapons. You could put your guys out there like this. I mean, unless I don't know, which I might not know new NBA. I watch the League Pass. No one does this, but unless I don't know, this is not how you play a game when you're down by 1.
First off, before he started attacking, it was 13 seconds that went off the clock. So with 13 seconds on the clock is an eternity at the end of a game, especially when you have timeouts. You have to give yourself an opportunity to get up a shot, to stretch the game out, to get more than one shot, and to let 16 seconds, actually 13 seconds, go off the clock before we even started getting downhill.
Yeah. And
that's putting your team in a bad situation.
And the reason is so they don't take James Harden out of the game. I'm not for that reason. If the reason you don't do it is because you're like, well, they don't have their good defensive team. You call a timeout, now they can put their dogs out there, right? That ain't enough to me to just leave it up to chance. Like, I'll take 2 possessions with their dogs out there versus no shot without it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And if you want to go, if they didn't want to call timeout and they wanted to go quick, I'm okay with that. But if you're not going to go quick, then you burn it right away.
Well, let's just call it what it really is, right? They should have. The way they played in the second half is how they should have played in the first half. How they start, like the way that they started that second half with energy, especially that fourth quarter. If you start the game that way, you're not in this situation.
No, for sure. We're going to get answers for everybody because someone's got to ask the question.